Did you see Ionis Pharmaceuticals roaring higher today, up nearly $9 or 30% on some very strong clinical trial data? Talk about a comeback. Here's a biotech name that's been written off, left for dead by Wall Street, at least until today. Ionis, which changed its name from Ionis Pharma late last year, has pioneered what's known as antisense technology, which lets them develop drugs that work by targeting the RNA, not DNA, but the RNA in your cells. Think of RNA as the biological equivalent of middle management. The DNA in your cells gives the orders, but the RNA carries those orders to the rest of the cell. So if you alter the message the RNA is carrying, you can fix a lot of different kinds of problems. This platform made investors very excited, given that Ionis has 38 drugs in its pipeline. But as biotech went out of style because of political worries about drug prices, the stock got hammered. Then things got even worse in May when we learned that GlaxoSmithKline would not be moving forward with a phase 3 trial for the cardiomyopathy drug that they were partnering with Ionis. Ionis stock plunged from $35 down to $21 in a single session. Today, though, Ionis has come roaring back up to $38 based on some very strong phase 3 data about their spinal muscular atrophy drug, which they're partnering with Biogen on. Spinal muscular atrophy is the leading cause of infantile death worldwide. And now some analysts are saying this could potentially be a $2 billion franchise, much higher than previous estimates. Ionis could get royalties in the mid-teens on these sales, as well as $150 million in milestone payments from Biogen if all goes well. That's on top of the $75 million license fee that Biogen just paid them. So is it time to give Ionis another look? Well, the company's made some missteps in the past, but there are a lot of drugs in the pipe that could potentially pay off, including the potentially revolutionary anticoagulant. That's a treatment for TTR amyloidosis, too, a therapy for high triglyceride levels, and some diabetes drugs, and an early-stage cancer therapy. Does this company simply have so many shots on goal that a few of them are bound to make it all the way? Let's check in with Dr. Stanley Crook, the chairman and CEO of Ionis Pharmaceuticals, find out more about this clinical trial and his company's prospects. Dr. Crook, welcome back to Mad Money.
Oh, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right, first, Doctor, this is a monumental milestone. I just want you to tell people what it means for sufferers, what it means for the families, and what it could mean for Ionis.
Well, type 1 SMA is the most frequent genetic cause of infant death. After diagnosis, infants that are diagnosed progress rapidly, with more than half of them requiring permanent ventilation or they're unfortunately dead by ages 8 months to 10 months of age. The analysis we did over the weekend was an analysis that we agreed with the FDA to do, which is a pre-specified interim analysis of a single critical endpoint that we agreed with the FDA to do. Of course, we looked at all of the various endpoints, and our endpoints when the study is finished haven't changed. And what the analysis demonstrated is that we are having really substantial benefit in these patients. What we looked at was the ability of these infants to use their muscles, measured by very specific developmental milestones, like being able to raise their legs or their arms, because at this stage they're so weak that they can't do any of that, to sit, which has never happened with an SMA baby untreated, to stand even, and to walk. And what we demonstrated was highly statistically significant differences between the nusinersen-treated babies and the control babies, which confirmed what we had seen in the open-label phase 2 study that we've reported a number of times.
Let me ask you
and then
that,
all the other milestones were equally positive.
Well,
so this is great news.
I was trying to figure it out. You have come on the show many times and told us that this would happen. Why does it take so long, given the fact that lives are at stake? I mean, you have said many times, this drug works. How did it finally happen that the FDA realized and had to let people have this drug?
Well, to put it in context, the discovery program for this drug started just 6 years ago, which is a stunning achievement that can only be done with antisense. This is a mechanism, something that only antisense can do. And the regulatory agencies have their responsibilities to assure safety and to prove efficacy. And what took a great deal of time was conversations between us and regulatory agencies around the world about what would be the right analysis to do and when to do it with regard to an interim analysis of this blinded phase 3 study. And what we wanted to do was to make sure that when we did the analysis, that there was a reasonable chance it would be positive, because it's not when you file, it's when you get approved that matters. And in the case of these babies, every month matters, and so we think we've made the right decision. We appreciate the cooperative nature of our interactions with regulatory agencies, and I think now we can move very aggressively to bring this study to an end, to assure that the babies on the control arm can now get nusinersen, and Biogen plans a very broad expanded access program. And so it's really important to me that now babies around the world will be able to access nusinersen sooner than they would have if we had to wait for the finish of the trial.
Okay, Biogen stock was up very big too. Now, Biogen's a very big company, and that is in part because the analysts are now using a range between $1.2 and $2 billion for sales. That would have seemed to have been much higher than I thought the last time we met. Is there something happening, or is there more belief that this illness is bigger or that this works better?
Well, I think the results that we reported are truly remarkable. And, you know, the estimates of number of infants born each year with SMA vary, but the estimates we've been using are around 30,000 infants around the world. About half of those are type 1. So the incidence is actually half of all babies born with SMA. The prevalence, of course, is very low, because unfortunately these babies don't live. And so if you start thinking about the kind of benefit that we've seen, the fact that the benefit seems to continue to increase the longer we treat, and the earlier we treat, the better it is, and that we've seen you know, very encouraging data in the older children with type 2 SMA, you can easily come to a notion of a very large commercial opportunity. Obviously, that's Biogen's area of responsibility, and so I won't be able to comment further other than we believe this is an enormous commercial opportunity.
Excellent. Dr. Stanley Crook, Chairman, CEO of Ionis Pharmaceuticals. I know how hard you've worked on this. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks so much.
All right, it's a very big drug. Now, remember, they have a royalty to it. Don't get too excited because it's not all theirs, all right? It's a Biogen split. But this is a big win for Ionis. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.